Right. So my name is Ken Burton. I was born at Woodbine, born in the Mayfield at Hitchin. I was taken to Woodbine. My mother died when I was 3 weeks old, and so I was brought up by Alton and Ruth Pierce, who had just returned from Vancouver. Ruth was pushing me round the village at about 1 year old, just over 1 year old, and came across Phil Walker. Phil Walker said, "Oh, he's a chubby little fella. What's you calling him then, Ruth?" So Ruth said, "Oh, Kenneth. I shall call my son Kenneth." And that's how Ken Walker got his name. Yeah. So anyway, I didn't do much then until I was about 3. When I got to about 3, I got friendly with Sam next door.
Who's
Sam
that?
Burton.
Sam Burton.
Yeah, Sam Burton lived at the Live with his brother Tony and his mum and dad, George and the Dragon. And
Who was the dragon? What was her name?
well, it was George and Hilda Burton. So I used to spend a lot of time round there, and we both had Meccano sets. So every Sunday afternoon when the pub closed, we used to go in the tap room, because there wasn't a bar or anything in
The Live and Let Live.
So we used to go in the tap room and build tractors mostly on the table in the tap room. Then every Sunday afternoon, if it was fine, Sam and I used to walk. We used to walk up Wood Lane, along Hexton Road, calling at my dad's, which was number 2 Hexton Road, get a cup of tea and a piece of cake, and then walk down Burton Road back to Woodbine.
How old were you then?
About between 4 and 5. But we never used to then tell Ruth, because the agreement was that Ruth would bring me up, but unless I had any connection with my dad, because she was frightened that he was going to take me when I got old enough to work.
So what happened? Your father, where was your father born? What was his name?
Arthur Burton was my father's name.
Yes, and where did he live?
Well, he lived in the middle farm, a house down the back, when he was a gamekeeper. And then when my mother died and he got her money, he paid and got tenants of the farm.
The small holding on the Hexton Road?
Yeah.
Yes. But he couldn't look after you, so
No.
You went to Alf and
Yeah.
Ruth?
Because his wife was a funny woman. His wife actually was the sister of my wife's mother. So
that was a Kingsley.
Eh?
Was that Ivy Kingsley?
No.
Your mum was Ivy Kingsley.
Yeah. No, my wife was a Parkins, and they lived at Ickleford.
Yes.
And her other sister, see what her name was now.
Yeah.
Lived in the cottages up by the grammar school. There's 2
yes.
cottages there.
Yes.
So Arthur started courting her up there, and then eventually they bought the farm, they got tenants in the farm.
Yes.
I've got the original tenant.
Right.
Contract.
Yes.
1932, I think it was.
Yes.
So we used to call in there, and then when it was wet, we used to spend our time in the barns at Woodbine, taking bits of the farm machinery to pieces.
What sort of farm machinery?
Well, there was a binder.
What's that?
The binder was for cutting the corn and making it into shocks. So the binder was pulled by 3 horses. One was
Harry. Was that Harry?
Harry had 2 horses, and he used to hire 2 more, or for Dick Bucket.
Who lived up the green?
Dick Bucket lived up the green, and Dick Bucket used to frequent the Cat and Fiddle, and we weren't allowed to go near the Cat and Fiddle because they used to have fights up there nearly every night because they was all Jippo. So there were 3 horses, so the 2 to pull the binder.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Hoy, who was Harry's man, used to drive the horses, and I used to have to lead them round the field for a start because they kept stopping and eating the corn at the time. So I started working for Harry.
That's Harry Hanscom
Harry
from
Hanscom,
Three Gables.
When I was 7. I used to have to go and work for harvest. I used to have a horse and cart. We used to what we called lob cart, which was everybody used to go down the field with 4 carts and horses, load up the carts, and then go back to the farm to build the stacks. And when we were building the stacks, I used to have to be binding in, they called it. I used to have to work behind Harry, so every time he laid a wheat sheaf of corn, it's a bind it in there, boy. And I used to have to put one in on top of it, and then when it got up to the height of the start of the roof, and I used to get put in the first pitch hole. So we used to leave a gap, and then they used to get Jimmy on the cart up to me. I used to catch the sheaf and chuck it up to the next one. So that was how we used to do it.
Did they thatch the ricks?
Eh?
Did they thatch the ricks?
Yeah, they used to thatch it afterwards.
Who thatched them?
Harry used to do it, yeah.
Were they round ricks or square, rectangular?
Well, some were round, some were, depending on how big the field was. Some were boat-shaped, and some were, round.
Yeah.
So, so anyway, I used to have to load the cart.
Yeah.
Harry used to pitch the sheaves onto me, and then when they was loaded, we all used to traipse back to the farm. So one day I used to have one of Dick Bucket's horses. So one day I was taking this horse and cart up the Millway, because he had a field down Millway, and we'd had a wet day the day before, so the Millway was all puddles. So I decided I wasn't going to walk through a lot of puddles. There wasn't any way the horse could get out of the lane. So I chucked the lead over the horse's neck, give it a slap, and got through the hedge and walked up Laurie Franklin's field. I got about halfway up and couldn't hear the horse anywhere. So I went and had a look through. The horse had died. And died it. And so they had to get another cart and unload the wheat off the cart. And then they had to get Billy Orban had to come from Ickleford to winch the horse onto his lorry.
Oh, right. What happened to the horse then?
Well, dead.
Yes. And
So they used to go to Billy Orban. He used to cut it up and
Knackers yard.
Yeah,
Yes.
and that was it.
Yes.
So that went on until I was 10.
Yes. Did you have any other friends when you were younger?
Only Sam.
And what about Peter Bryant?
Well, Peter Bryant, yeah, but not, he wasn't a regular.
No.
Sam was the regular.
Yes. What about, you told me about, Peter Bryant was the headmaster's son and you used
Yeah.
to go up Wood Lane with him.
Yeah, well, I think it was about 38,
Yeah.
39, when Brian got the job of headmaster at Wilshire Acre School.
Oh, yes.
So every Saturday, Brian used to drive into the town to his school. So Sam and I used to get riding in his Hillman. Yeah, we thought we would really went up then. That was the only time I didn't go with Sam. You wouldn't take Sam.
What about the stilts?
Eh?
What about the stilts?
The what?
The stilts.
Oh yeah, well, in about, I suppose about 38, we decided to build some stilts. So Sam and I set off with a saw and an axe and cut down 3 fir trees, the right size. Brought these 3 fir trees home on 4-wheelers, because we used to have, make 4-wheelers out of pram wheels. And we found 4 bits of wood and cut them to the right shape for the feet. And so we sat on the school wall, which backed onto Docklands. So we sat there, get up on the school wall, and we were the right height then to set off on the stilts.
There were no bungalows in Docklands then?
No, nothing there. Well, there was the only thing that was there was the almshouses, nothing else. And of course, the house had gone from Middle Farm then anyway. And so Docklands used to go round the corner and up to Prior's Hill.
Yes.
That used to be one field.
Yeah.
That was before the houses were built.
Before Danefield and,
Yeah.
and 3 Closes.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, one day they had a lot of rain in that year, early, and so Docklands was flooded all over the place. So I decided that as we were on stilts, we could walk through the puddle without problem. So of course I set off and sunk into the water. So I think I got a bit wet that day.